You are here because the outside world rejects you.
I'm the best there is at what I do. But what I do isn't very nice.
Come on, let's get nuts.
This guy's got the right idea. He wore the brown pants.
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga!
I made up money.
Come on, Peter Tingle.
Here we go.
What's up? What's up? What up?
What up, Cameo? What are you playing during the introduction over there?
I don't know. I'm sorry. My phone is acting up.
I need to learn to mute you because last time I heard you coughing.
Oh, you did?
You were like, let me clear my throat.
God dang.
Yeah, so I allowed it. I allowed it.
All right.
Yeah. Cameo on that side. I'm Brad Reed on this side. Yeah. If you're listening, you're like, what side? All
The
sides.
strong side.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no.
And we are the Nerdz II Men. We do movie reviews, TV reviews,
Comic reviews sometimes.
yeah. Which we might have to do some more comic book reviews. We were talking about this, and we got some plans. But a lot of our favorite shows we've been talking about the last few weeks are all done.
Or they're boring.
Yeah, yeah. Andor. Did you ever watch that season, the episode 6? I was so high on.
Yeah, I did. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good, but episode 7, awful.
Yeah. I haven't watched it yet. You turned me off of it, so I'm just like,
It is. It's just, man, it's so hit or miss. And I saw somebody say that they really should have done less episodes. And I agree. Because
or not done it at all.
We're a little over half. Well, I just think if they did like 8 episodes, maybe they wouldn't have these filler episodes that are just so boring.
I don't know. I feel like if every third episode is good, then either you should have made another movie
Yeah.
and call it a day. I mean, do we really need a prequel to Rogue One?
I don't think we did now. when they announced it and I was like, oh, it's tied to Rogue One. Great. But this really doesn't feel like Rogue One at all. It's Andor's story before Rogue One takes place, but it's just
maybe the back half is going to be better. How many episodes are there?
I believe there's like 12 or so episodes.
Okay, well maybe after or this starting this episode it'll pick up. Maybe.
That's a big.
I hope so.
It's a big maybe, Cameo. But yeah, you're right. Like they've had the opportunity to do some good episodes. So maybe like the last few on the run to the end will be good. Either way, we didn't set out to do an Andor segment this week because it ain't been good.
Yeah.
Now we are going to talk about House of the Dragon, the season finale coming up, and we're going to talk about Black Adam. So,
but first,
yeah, just so you know, though, we will have spoilers for both.
Mm-hmm.
So that's later on in the show. We got a few nerd updates, though. Let's get to it. Nerd updates. Yeah.
Okay.
We need some kind of nerd update song, I feel like.
Yeah.
God
maybe
recorded
like
us.
The old news thing.
Yeah, GOG recorded us one a while back. I need to go find it, and we use that. But it has like that real nice film kind of sound to it, like boom, 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 like
nice.
Like stuff's about to kick off. So let's kick it off.
Okay.
There's been a lot of DCEU news. Is it still called the DCEU? Or was it ever the DCEU? Am I making that up?
No, it's the DCEU.
Is it? What's the E? Is it Extended Universe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like that doesn't even really make sense for the movies. I guess maybe like the DC universe is the comics, maybe, and the EU is the. I don't know. Don't get me to line. But we thought it was kind of dead maybe, and definitely the whole Snyder Snyderverse we thought was no longer going to be continued, but there was some things that came out ahead of Black Adam where I feel like they were like, we need to let everybody know right now.
Yeah.
And some of the news real quick, Walter Hamada is out. He was over the DCEU. And, you know, if you remember the whole Ray Fisher saga, he had a lot of animosity towards the way that he feels like he was treated by Walter. And so I'm wondering, with him being out, is Ray Fisher back in? Could we get a Cyborg movie now? Because I want to see Cyborg back in the movies and stuff. And I liked Ray Fisher, so I'd like to see him. That's not really news. Yeah. That's just me, you know, wishing. But here are some of the announcements that they did prior to Black Adam's release. They announced James Gunn is developing a new mystery DC film. Any thoughts on what that film might be, Cameo? I originally was like, it'd be dope to see like Pete Davidson's character in The Weasel, but you know, they bid it, and well,
except for Weasel.
The Weasel, yeah, he made it out, but they couldn't even do a prequel though, because they technically really never met till on that plane, because like, you know, that's when he freaked out saying he was a werewolf. So, but I wonder, do you think it would be tied to the DC or to the Suicide Squad movie?
It could. Maybe. You know, I honestly and truthfully, I don't know. Maybe Boomerang. Maybe Captain Boomerang might be a person that he might be trying to. Is this you said a series or a movie?
A movie.
Or
because he's also they did announce he's going to be doing Peacemaker 2.
Yeah, honestly and truthfully, I don't know what he could do other than like a Teen Titans type movie. But then again, we got the Teen Titans show.
Yeah.
But
that doesn't sound like something James Gunn would do though.
Maybe not. Maybe it'll be probably one of the Suicide Squad members. Maybe it might be what was Idris Elba's character's name? Oh
my goodness. Not Deadshot, Bloodsport.
Yeah, whatever his name is. Maybe it might be a solo film for him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe so. Maybe just kind of thinking about it, like, what if he did a Doom Patrol movie though? Like tied into the show, but because I mean, you got Brendan Fraser, like that could be dope.
That would be dope. I wouldn't mind seeing a Doom Patrol movie. And
I could see him that being like right up James Gunn alley.
Oh yeah. And that's why I said Teen Titans too, because they're not, serious because it's all basically the sidekicks. So yeah, it could be either or. It actually probably could be none of it.
Right.
So
could be like a Watchmen sequel.
Right. It could be a new Superman movie.
Ooh. Well, okay. Let's get into that because it was announced that there will be a Superman, Man of Steel 2, which Batman versus Superman was kind of like, Henry Cavill. Batman versus Superman was supposed to be the sequel to Man of Steel, but a lot of people who were looking forward to a true sequel to Man of Steel don't really count that as, the sequel. Although it was more of a Superman movie than a Batman movie, I feel like, but there was a really good Batman movie in there.
Yeah.
But like the whole thing with Doom and all that, like I didn't like that. Or Doomsday, I mean.
Yeah, it should have been two completely different films.
Exactly. So Man of Steel 2. And you're saying that maybe, because, okay, let me just ask. James Gunn, that would be cool, but everybody's already saying it. They want Zack Snyder back for that. Because Man of Steel, launched the DCEU as we know it now.
Yeah. I don't know. Do I? Zack Snyder did amazing with the Justice League when we got the Snyder cut. But do we really need him to continue the Snyderverse though?
No, we don't. But I mean, it feels wrong to kind of snatch it away from him. At the same time, I think Zack Snyder, like, honestly, I really love Zack Snyder. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but I kind of feel like he's better cinematographer than he is like a storyteller, story writer. Like, he's got good ideas, but a lot of times I feel like they just didn't hit.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk more about some of the things later that I think works for a DCEU movie when we talk about Black Adam. Because
and real quick, I have another possible idea that James Gunn might be producing a movie for The Flash.
Well, they did say the script for The Flash 2 is already done. Yeah. Which is interesting.
So maybe, that could be it.
What about this? Blue Beetle.
What? Okay.
Because I don't know. I can't remember if Blue Beetle has a director attached to it, but I haven't heard anything in a long time about it.
I think it does, because there were some set photos that they have already had.
Was it? It wasn't James Wan, was it?
I can't remember.
Let's see. I'm looking that up real quick. But yeah, that's just a few things. Okay, yeah, it does actually have Angel Manuel Soto.
Oh, okay.
So that's out.
Okay, all right.
That movie's supposed to be out August of next year.
Oh, cool.
Dang, like for it being out like less than a year from now, we haven't heard a whole lot about it. We've heard a lot about The Flash, and that might be because of Ezra Miller and all the stuff surrounding Ezra Miller lately, which I hope Ezra Miller does better and is doing better. And I've heard a lot of things that things might not have been reported the way they actually were. So who knows what's actually going on, but they're keeping him in. So hopefully that means that everything's all good. But yeah, the Flash 2, dude, James Gunn doing the Flash. I'm in for that. I'm in for that cameo. Yeah. Good idea.
I think that would work. And if you heard it here first, you're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. And then kind of outside of the DCEU, but like me and you were talking about this the other day, which we'll talk more about here in a few, but we were talking about our favorite movies lately from the DCEU and what would they be. And we were saying you can't include the Batman because the Batman, like Joker, those aren't tied into the DCEU, at least not yet. They haven't, maybe it's a multiverse that they're going to bring together someday. But, oh my God, what if James Gunn did the Batman Who Laughs? I don't think you're like into that whole, have you read any of those?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be nice.
And that
would be right up his alley.
I gotta go change my pants, Cameo.
Did you wear the brown pants? Or?
Yeah, I did. That would be so dope, though. Yeah,
that'd be up his alley too. So,
but back to the Batman, Matt Reeves, because when they were shaking everything up with WB and Discovery, people were like, "Oh my gosh, are they actually going to let Matt Reeves continue on his stuff?" Well, it has been announced that he's developing multiple spin-off projects, including Clayface, Scarecrow, and Professor Pig. Now, I'm excited about Clayface and Professor Pig. I feel like Scarecrow, we got a lot of Scarecrow in the Nolan trilogy. I mean, a lot, not a lot, but
I mean, enough.
But Scarecrow pops up in like the video games and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I don't know, but like how like they, in the Matt Reeves verse, everything's kind of dark and gritty. Scarecrow makes sense. You can do a lot there that's scary. So that's actually that's all the ones that I got. That's all my that's all my nerd updates. Did you have another one?
Yeah, I have a couple now.
Oh yeah.
But speaking of video games, Gotham Knights is out.
Have you played it yet?
Yeah, I'm actually I stopped playing it when you said we were doing our show. So yeah.
Okay, good. Because we were late today, and I was like, "Oh, Cameo's gonna be mad," but you were like, "Nope,
nope, not at all."
How is it?
Yeah, I like it. Now it's no Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum. It's not like those video games at all. But it is fun. You get to play as either Nightwing, Batgirl, Tim Drake's Robin, or Red Hood. As far as I know, the storyline is the same throughout. But so like it doesn't matter if you picked Nightwing, you're going to get the same story as Batgirl. You're going to do the same deals, yada yada yada. But yeah, I like it so far. It is co-op. You can get it on the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X. I believe that's the new Xbox, right?
Is that what it's called? I haven't even been. I've been trying not to follow any video games lately because I'm broke and it just makes me sad because I want those video games. I need a PS5 for when Wolverine comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's also on PC as well. And it is a co-op online game as well. So you can play with your friends or some random people online. But yeah, Gotham Knights is out, and so far I like it. I don't know, moving on towards the end of the game if I like it, but I'll let you know for sure. But also too, the trailer dropped. If you're listening to it tomorrow, which is Tuesday, the trailer dropped for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania on yesterday. Yeah, on Monday. Yeah. Monday afternoon. And man, the trailer didn't really like jump out at me as anything special. But Jonathan Majors, Kang the Conqueror, looks amazing.
Yeah, he does.
I posted it on our Instagram. So go check that out. That's at the Nerdz, the number 2 Men. And yeah, it looks pretty cool. Like I said, it didn't jump out at me like anything like the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer did or Spider-Man No Way Home. But yeah, I think this movie is going to be pretty good. Yeah.
I can't wait. When does that one come out? It's got to be coming out soonish.
Yeah, I would say probably early next year.
Yeah. Right. But
yep, I don't see when it's supposed to be released. Sorry.
Is it I can't remember his name, Jonathan Major's character's name now.
Kang the Conqueror.
Kang, yeah. We saw
February 17th, 2023.
We saw him in Loki, and so I'm excited to see him bringing back that character in this movie because he's a great actor, honestly. Like I've seen other movies he's done and he's just always really good.
He really is. And have you seen him in the Creed 3 trailer?
No. Is it?
Dude, he's the villain in this one. You got to go check it out.
I know he's been jacked lately. Like I've seen pictures of him.
Dude, like he's jacked. Like, yeah.
Is he English?
No, I think he's American.
Oh, okay. Because what's the name of the dude in Nope? Daniel Kaluuya?
Daniel Kaluuya?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every time I see him and he talks like outside of the movies and I realize that he's British, I'm like,
he's from California.
Who?
Jonathan Majors.
Oh, okay. Cause like him, Idris Elba, like a lot of the actors that I think are like American actors, I hear them with English accents lately, and I'm just like, dang. All of them are from England now. So good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And you mentioned Wakanda Forever. That comes out in a few weeks, right?
November
11th. All right. Any other nerd updates, Cameo?
I'm sure there are, but that's all I got for right now. I want to hurry up and talk about House of the Dragon and Black Adam.
Yeah. Before we do that, though, I got to mention that the last week I've been, well, after the show that you mentioned, you got the Grimace, the adult Happy Meal. I had to run out and try to get one. And guess what? They were sold out everywhere. Everywhere. Wow. And my wife, she ended up going into one of the McDonald's that had already, we'd been through the drive-thru and they're like, no, we're sold out. She went by like the next day and was like, y'all got one of them adult Happy Meals? And they're like, yeah, we do. So I got one. And then I was like, please be Grimace. Because the other ones are cool, but like I thought the Grimace. And did you know like the whatever, the Cactus Buddy and all that, that's like some designer. And so that's why they got the 4 eyes. I thought it was like something to do with like, you know, spooky season coming up. But speaking of spooky season, this has been my latest quests lately is the McDonald's buckets. And what's funny is I've been like online trying to find the different buckets because like a lot of them, especially in the South, I guess, they send them all the ghost buckets. Then they send them the McGoblin one, which looks like the witch. And then the pumpkin one comes out later, I think this week. So if you're like me and you're out there trying to get all 3, and yeah, and it was even funny because when I first got that one, I like asked the guy, I was like, do you have the other 2? Like, and he's like, no. And I rolled up my window and I was like, nerd. And then I was like, wait, I'm a 43-year-old guy buying Happy Meals.
All right.
Who hosts a show called Nerdz II Men. How dare I? How dare I?
But hey, it takes one to know one, though. So.
Yeah, exactly. What do you want to do first? House of the Dragon and then Black Adam, or how did you want to? What order? Before
we get into that,
yeah.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on YouTube. And so anytime that we have out a show, which comes out every Tuesday, you'll have it.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
We forget. I forget to tell people to like and subscribe enough.
Yeah, me too. But
you did it. You did it. You saved us.
Yep.
All right.
But I don't know. Should we save the best for last?
I'm not sure which one that would be. But let's go with House of the Dragon first.
Okay.
All right. So it was the season finale, episode 10, House of the Dragon, and I had told you I wasn't sure if there was going to be like more seasons or if this was like a one-off, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But just 2 things. The author of all the House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones, he said that they would need 4 seasons of 10 episodes each to fully tell the story. So that was interesting. Of course, I don't want to jump too far to the end, but I will say definitely there's going to be another season. Definitely. If there's not, I'm going to rage against all the machines.
Oh, dude. You're not going to like me if there's not one. Dude.
Yeah. But
the world better end for there to not be a second season.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
But
then I'd be like, oh, okay. Well, then whatever.
This season finale did not let me down whatsoever. I got to say, it was 10 episodes. It felt like 8 years because of all the time jumps.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was more like 14.
Yeah.
It was like 2 6-year jumps.
Yeah, you're right. The first jump was a little longer than that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it really didn't though. Like it felt like every episode was, jam-packed with goodness.
Mm-hmm.
It told the story. I really was interested throughout the whole thing. And so, last week you had the usurping of the throne there. Mm-hmm. And this week it was kind of how I figured, which by the way, I kind of tried to study the names a little bit better. Like Rhaenys is and she's not even the
Auntie.
aunt. She's not even the aunt, really. She was his cousin, Viserys. And so that would make her Rhaenyra's. Oh, I keep saying Rhaenyra. Well, Rhaenyra's second or third cousin.
Second cousin, right?
Yeah. So she's not really the aunt. Although sometimes, like, I've got a second cousin who's, you know, my cousin's son, and like he was a little kid when I was a grown adult. So like I kind of always think of him like a nephew or something.
Right. Yeah.
So anyhow, this episode was more about Rhaenyra and Daemon and her children, and even Rhaenys was in there too. So, which I expected, and man, it was really good. It kind of starts where they learn about the fact that she has been usurped, and she is also goes into early labor, which kind of throws us right back into like what happened in the first episode. Like we were thinking, oh no, is she going to make it? You know, I haven't read the books. Like if I had read the books, I probably would have known what would happen, but I didn't. And I feel like they're counting on the fact that maybe not everybody did. So I thought that was cool how it came full circle to that now. And so she's the one. And of course, she lives through it. And that was like, oh man, that was sad. That was really sad. Man, and in fact, you shared a meme, a no spoiler context meme. And you were wrong for that because that picture. Oh my gosh. Anyway, go ahead. What were you going to say, Cameo?
I'm sorry.
I'll
you don't know what I'm talking about.
Everyone to see it on YouTube here.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, what was I about to say?
We were talking about how sad that was.
Yeah, it was sad, and even the part where she delivered her own baby.
Yeah,
like she pulled out her own baby, and then,
well, she was like, "Y'all ain't gonna cut me."
Right.
No.
And then, even after all that, she, coddled the baby and then wrapped the baby up for its funeral. And it's just like, man, that's crazy. She loses her mother, first episode. She loses her father in episode 9, learns about it in episode 10. And now she went into early labor and lost her baby.
Yeah.
So, I think wasn't that the one that was going to be named after her father?
Oh, maybe so.
I think that might have been the one that was going to be named after her father. If I'm not mistaken. If I am, please correct me. But yeah, man, for somebody that has that didn't want the crown and that responsibility at first, she is really going through it.
Yeah.
Like really going through it.
Well, and again, and so as they start, like the people around her, they're telling her, you need to go to war. You need to fight for this. And she's kind of like, well, my responsibility isn't so much to be like, to force myself into being queen as much as it is to protect the kingdom. And if I have to do it by not being the queen, I'm prepared to do that. And Daemon, that I lost a little more. Like I've loved the portrayal of Daemon, but I don't think Daemon's a cool dude, right?
Oh no, not at all, not at all.
He's he's a badass on the battlefield. But when he started to choke her out, I was like, that ain't right. That ain't right. She ought to stab him. And I think too, she lost a lot of respect for him at that moment too. Even though we didn't get too much of that story afterwards. I think we will maybe going later on. Like,
oh yeah.
Although I do think that they're gonna need Daemon because he is such a badass Oh, and I don't think anything is going to happen to Daemon in that aspect. No,
you choke the queen out, so I'm gonna cut off your hands or something like that. Yeah, that's not going to happen, obviously. But I think,
but she's gonna be remembering that later on. Like, I know, like,
remember that one time after I lost our baby, you choked me out. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't know if you remember.
I wonder if he was.
Let you know.
I wonder if he was telling all his friends like, I looked her straight into her eyes, and I said,
he'll be in prison. He'll be in prison.
Yeah.
Talking
You choked her out
next to Aegon and Aemon.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, we'll get into that here in a second. But it was cool that Lord Corlys came back in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody deals with grief in their own way. And Rhaenys and Corlys lost their base. Well, he's lost a lot.
It's Rhaenys. I'm pretty sure because
did I say Rhaenyra?
No, you said Rhaenys. Because
Rhaenys. Yeah,
last week I was saying it sounds like
yeah.
But they were like, no, it's Rhaenys, not Rhaenys.
Yeah. So Auntie Rhaenys, I like that little scene that they had where he came to and she was like, we lost everything, because he had mentioned, I lost everything and I just had to get away, basically. And she said, we lost everything.
Yeah. And
now, with you being gone, I had to basically pick up the slack, and this is what's going on. And because Corlys wasn't ready for the fact that that Rhaenys was about to be backing Rhaenyra. Right. So, I'm glad that he's finally seeing, he's basically heeding what he should have been heeding all along. And because obviously he said it himself that he and his brother are very heedless.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that that all of this is coming together, and this is going to be a bad war.
Oh yeah, because first thing I wanted to say was, at this point, like, because it's been a little while, why don't they just say, look, Rhaenys, your son isn't dead?
And I think they will at some point.
I hope so. Because why let her think her son's dead all this time, I'd be more mad that you let me think that he was dead all this time.
Yeah, I think something's going to come up to, because obviously we know lies always come to the light. So
yeah, and I guess it would still kind of jeopardize her son's, it would cement the fact that they're not his if the whole truth came out. So maybe that's one of the reasons. But
and they all know it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they do. So
that
might be visited later on. You're right. So they're telling her, and she's like, nah, I don't really want to go to war just to go to war and slaughter everyone. And they're like, hey, but we've got the shipping lanes that we can cut off, and we got the biggest and baddest dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I didn't realize that they had the different size dragons, like kind of like airplanes, until this episode, when Damon goes down to see his dragon, and that thing was huge. Like I thought they were all big, but like the youngest son who takes off on his dragon to deliver the message,
Lucerys.
Yeah. Like his dragon's kind of small, like a single engine prop or whatever they call it. And of course he's a younger guy, so he probably has the smaller dragon. I get that, but like I figured like but the difference in the sizes of the dragons too, man, like you really saw it in this episode. And so what I thought was super dope, we're getting closer to the end. Anything you want to throw in before I get to kind of wrapping up the end here?
Yeah, I figured something was going to happen.
Yeah.
It just seemed like somebody had to die in this episode.
Yeah. It wasn't going to turn out like happy for everybody because it never does in Game of Thrones.
No. And I just thought that, I didn't. So, because I already knew as soon as baby Luke went to the Baratheons place, and he sees Vagar is the dragon. I was like, oh my goodness.
That was another big huge dragon that I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I was like, Aegon's there. Oh Lord.
Not Aegon.
Aemon. Whatever. Yeah. Whatever, dude. They all the same.
Well, the thing is Aegon had sent his younger brother to, he beat him to, make his offers on what they could do for them, who could get married and yada, 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 how they'll all benefit. Mm-hmm. And of course, they like their offer a lot better than Rhaenyra's. So,
yeah.
And then, of course, being that it's Aemon and the young one who had cut his eye out, he was
baby Luke.
Yeah, he was definitely aching for a fight there, and they were going to have it out right there, but I didn't catch the name. You said he was one of the Baratheons.
Yeah,
the Lord there. He was like, no, you can't do that here. So he leaves on his dragon. And he knows what's up, and he's like, "We got to get out of here." And man, the way they filmed that with all the clouds and the storm, so ominous. It was dope. And I was like, as it was happening, I was sitting there thinking, you know what? We've never had a dragon fight, not in Game of Thrones. Like the dragons shown up in different spots, but not like a dragon fight. Like,
right.
And dude, that was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
That was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
But here's the thing. So he's like, and once he's telling his dragon, you got to obey me. Don't fight this other dragon. I was like, oh, it's over.
It's done. Yeah.
But the way it all happened, like the way that dragon flew over on top of them, and like he looked up and it was just so big. And I was like, but that little dragon, he was like, that dragon had a lot of Dragon Balls because he
burned him.
He was going to try to fight that dude. Like he was like, I'm gonna get you. And of course that was bad. That was a bad idea.
Yeah, don't do that, Arax. But I mean, rest in peace.
And even Aemon was like, he wanted to like mess with him and stuff, but I don't think he wanted to set off what's going to end up setting off the war.
No, because basically, honestly and truthfully, I think the Greens had it. They had it in the bag.
Yeah,
because we don't know what's happening where Jacaerys went. Even though, oh my goodness, Rhaenyra was saying that where her mother's from, where she said just Jace, that they're blood, so they're not going to go with the Greens.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, it's so that with all that being said, I didn't want baby Luke to die, but I knew he was going to. I didn't want him to. I thought maybe Aemon, right?
Yeah.
I thought Aemon would just let it go.
Well, he was trying to call off the dragon, wasn't he?
He was.
Because I think he knew,
because he kept saying no.
Yeah.
Obey me.
Yeah, and then the little dragon flew in and he's like, gotcha.
Man.
And because the way he looked at it, and he was like, oh, Nikes. Like, that is not good. That was not.
Like, but what did you think was going to happen? These are still, I mean, I know they're fake, but these are wild animals.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing.
Wild animals.
That's the thing, because she had said when they were like, we have the biggest and baddest dragons. We have more dragons than they have. And she was like, yeah, but here's the thing. When the dragons start to fight, they don't care what you have to say. and they're going to destroy everything. So what do we win? We win like a destroyed kingdom.
Yeah, just ash and bones, she said.
Yeah. So that kind of gave you the idea that like you shouldn't be playing with these dragons. No.
Right.
No, because they're not, even though they control them, they're still got a mind of their own. And we saw that. And so then the last scene, Damon goes to tell her what's happened, and she turns around and she has that look of, yeah, y'all are about to get it. Like I was going to be peaceful or try to find a way around this without a lot of bloodshed. But now that look told me she's going to burn everybody to the ground.
She's burning everything.
And she had just lost her baby. She had just lost her baby.
And her dad.
Yeah. Yeah. And now she loses her son.
She lost 2 sons and a dad within a span of a few days.
And the throne. Like the throne's probably a little less on her list, but like things are going badly for her. And so, yeah, that look was like, I wish there was another episode coming next week.
I know, dude. Like for a sec, I had to check the time because I was like, nah, this ain't gonna have this. This isn't how the episode ends. This isn't how the episode ends. Like it can't be.
But but it didn't disappoint me at all. Like it just left me really excited. Yeah. Not mad that it ended that way at all. Mm-hmm. Just like, I can't wait. And probably what is it going to be like? Please don't, like, you know, like how sometimes Westworld was like 2 years. And I think there was a pretty good gap in one of the Game of Thrones seasons. Mm-hmm. So I really hope that it's not, I need this next summer or sooner.
I hope. I need it in December.
Yeah. I need them to be like, we got you. Here's the next season 2 is ready to go.
Exactly, man.
But yeah, overall, I'm almost still saying that I feel like House of the Dragon, even as much as I love Game of Thrones, I feel like I like House of the Dragon even more.
Yeah.
And like I say, I think it's because it centers more around the one family instead of jumping around 50, as much. People. Yeah. Which I thought was cool in Game of Thrones, but you know, it wasn't just about the Lannisters or just about the Baratheons or anything. But you know, I really do think that the House of the Dragon, I don't know if it's just because it's the latest thing that's been out or what, but I really think that I enjoyed it more than any of the seasons of Game of Thrones. There was a few weeks ago, there was the episode, it reminded me of the night invasion episode in Game of Thrones on the last season where everybody's like, it's so dark, I can't see anything. But this one wasn't like a battle, but it was them out on the beach. But you know, it's like, what do you expect? There's not lights. It's just the moon and the stars, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't expect them to film it where it's all lit up. But I still thought they did a good job. I feel like maybe if you're watching that particular episode, you need to watch it at night. If you're watching it during the day, it's not going to show up as good. Because I loved that one episode where was it what were those things called? It was like the zombie army or whatever. When they invaded that castle, and like it was so dark, but I love that because it gave it like a real spooky, you know, like chaotic kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I give this 10 out of 10.
Me too.
2 thumbs up, 4 toes up. like Grimace, he's got 4 toes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like we did have a rating system that I thoroughly enjoyed, but YouTube kept getting mad about it. And like we were making fun of somebody's sadness, but that was like their tears of joy. Right.
But whatever.
But YouTube's algorithm that doesn't have any room for nuance. So we'll figure out a new way to rate everything. But
okay.
For now, I just say House of the Dragon. I got no complaints.
None.
And
None
I
at
can't
all.
wait for next season. So,
Yeah.
all right. So let's get to Black Adam Cameo. If you can smell what The Rock is cooking.
And man, he cooked up something delicious in this movie.
You know, we mentioned this last week, but the fact that The Rock has been pushing for a Black Adam movie for so long and finally got it, it was like, I bet it felt so good for him, because we also mentioned this last week, and I also got to say I was wrong about something. But we had mentioned that like some people were kind of mad about him saying that he wanted to do Black Adam before he did Shazam, or before we had like a meetup of Black Adam and Shazam. He didn't want to just be a villain in a Shazam movie. And of course, there a lot of people, they were like, well, you know, that you should do that and stop making it all about you. But I still feel like he did the right thing to make his own movie. However, last week when I was saying that I felt like the Shazam movie and Black Adam, the tone of what I thought was going to be this movie wouldn't mix. I don't think that's the case. I think you could definitely have a Black Adam and Shazam movie, and they definitely will go good together.
Oh, yeah.
Now, my prediction was that we're going to see Black Adam in Shazam 2, and I still stand by that. Now, for his origin movie, I really thought that the movie was, and again, spoilers going forward, but I'll try not to spoil it too bad, but hopefully you already went out and watched it.
Yeah.
But I felt like this one, like, it had that more mainstream comic book movie feel. Whereas the Snyderverse movies they tried to be very cinematic, and I don't know, like Zack Snyder, I think he wants his movies to be respected as film, as cinema. And we've talked about the difference kind of before, where you have like movies that are like just a good time, a real good time, and then you have like serious Scorsese movies. I think Zack Snyder was always trying to like meet in the middle there. But I don't think that always turned on the casual viewers, or the like the families that want to take their kids out to go see a good action-filled comic book movie. And I feel like some of the Zack Snyder stuff was too serious. But like we're starting to see some branches here, like with Shazam and some of these other movies, Birds of Prey, all that stuff, where they're in that universe that Zack Snyder created, but this one is a lot more accessible for the average fan. Some people might even say it was a little more Marvel-esque. Your thoughts?
I mean, I guess you could say it was lighthearted, like, I mean, it was serious and then lighthearted, like Marvel movies can be. But I mean, I wouldn't say it was a Marvel film per se, just because it's a DC film.
Okay. Yeah. But I don't think it was chasing the MCU. I don't think it was trying to be like that. It was just like, hey, this is what good movies are made of.
Right. I mean, you could have done that with any movie that has like no comic book ties.
Yeah.
I don't know, like Hancock, that has like no comic book ties that I'm aware of. And it was serious.
I thought it was a comic book movie.
I mean, it was a superhero film, but I don't know. I've never read Hancock as
okay,
on a piece of paper. I've never read that. So if it is a comic book, then okay, my bad.
I want to say it was, though, like maybe a graphic novel or something, but I can't. Don't quote me on that. But go ahead.
But anyways, so let's say that it wasn't. If it was, let's say that it wasn't. There was some serious parts in it from for some split seconds here and there, but it was funny.
Yeah.
And at some parts as well. So I mean, it's just a formula. I mean, if
Right.
whatever works for Martin Scorsese, also works for a James Wan, then so be it. It's not like he's trying to be like Martin Scorsese. Well, maybe he is, maybe he's not. He's just following the formula that works for him. And, it is what it is. And I feel like that DC, they're finally finding some right people for the right parts, with also meaning the right directors as well. So, me, I'm a Marvel fan. And I'll come out and say if I think DC is trying to bite off of Marvel, but I don't think that's what it was. I think they found an actor who wanted to be this character and made the character his own. They found people to, fill around him. They found a director who, I guess knew the source material, knew it enough for them to portray this character on the big screen. I feel like sometimes the directors that they pick for the movies that don't do so well are trying to do something that doesn't need to be done.
Yeah.
Like if it's not broke, don't fix it. So, and I think that some of these other directors have done that. Like I think Joss Whedon had screwed the first Justice League up. And I'm not saying Zack Snyder's was like, oh my God, this was better than, Avengers or whatever. I don't know if I would be able to say that because I saw Joss Whedon's version first.
But I would say that Joss Whedon definitely seems like he was trying to chase the MCU, whereas Zack Snyder definitely wasn't. He was just trying to do his own thing. Right. So, we can't really say that, Zack Snyder, like his version was horrible. He was just doing something that, because obviously they weren't horrible because people want him back. They realized after Justice League where he was going with the storyline, and they loved it. So, again, with Black Adam, they knew the source material. They had an actor that they wanted, or that wanted to be that person. So, and I think it's just like the same thing with Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool. Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of Deadpool until I saw the movie.
Yeah. Right.
Did I know Deadpool in the comics? Yes. Was I a huge fan of him? Not at all.
Right.
But when he came to life through Ryan Reynolds in the actual Deadpool movies, then yeah, I was like, oh man, Deadpool's amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't know a lick about Black Adam. And I was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. I like this movie.
But I felt like, Black Adam was kind of, I don't mean this in a bad way, but it was more of your typical comic book movie. Like not, and the story, like, you remember how I told you Thor, Love and Thunder? Like, I was like, the story is just so formulaic. It's like, it follows all the formulas, even though I know that he was trying to do some things of his own to, make his mark on it too. I don't feel like this one followed like such a formula. There are some things that you could say, yeah. But like there were also some twists and stuff too that I felt like that it kind of threw you off of that typical comic book movie kind of thing. But not so much that they were trying to reinvent the wheel or anything. They just wanted to make a really good comic book movie, and I feel like they did.
And I totally agree. And I think, and I've said this before, if Warner Brothers is trying to catch up with Disney, they need to stop.
Yeah, you're not going to.
You're not going to be Disney. Be Warner Brothers. Warner WB has put out some, phenomenal movies and films. So, let you be you and don't try to chase after somebody else when you're going, because when you're chasing somebody, you're going to make mistakes that you wouldn't have had made if you were just doing what you should have been doing.
Yeah.
Because you're too busy looking at their feet when you should be looking at your own.
Right.
And I feel like this is why I think Black Adam is successful in that sense. And I know if you want to, go to the ratings, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 40%, but viewers gave it a 94%. Like if you go off of Rotten Tomatoes all the time, then you're going to miss out on some good movies. I remember seeing I'm going to go off track here for a second. I think it was a Ben Stiller movie, and Rotten Tomatoes gave it like I think same thing, like around the 30 or 40%. And I went to go see the movie and I loved it. Yeah. So, if you're a Marvel fan and you're like, oh, I'm not going to go see DC, I'm not going to, they're horrible. The DC movies are bad. Rethink it. Honestly, rethink it. Brad knows. I mean, I think I've probably worn maybe one DC or two DC related shirts on this podcast. All you see me in is like Spider-Man, X-Men, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have a couple of, DC stuff, but I am not going to be biased when it comes to a good film. Yeah. And or good comic book film, I should say. Either way. And Black Adam was good. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
And kind of just to, kind of put a cherry on the top on the humor, it wasn't like it was filled with jokes. No. And the jokes that they did make, I thought were funny. So if they land, then they land,
Hawkman and Atom Smashers.
Yes.
Interaction.
We're gonna
loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
And I loved Black Adam and Dr. Fate's interaction as well. Yes. That was great.
Although Dr. Fate, like comparing this to the Marvel universe, Dr. Fate was Doctor Strange.
I mean, technically that's yeah.
Just because like what really reminded me, what I thought compared the two was remember how Doctor Strange was able to see the different outcomes, and then Dr. Fate also had that ability. So they kind of seemed the same to me in that respect. Not in a whole lot of other ways, but just in that respect. Yeah. Some other things though that I did think was a little maybe derivative, which of course you're going to compare this movie to Shazam because he's like the bad Shazam. In fact, with his powers, he has to say Shazam, he just doesn't call himself Shazam. So, but like, Eamon, the young kid.
Oh yeah.
He very much came off as Shazam's sidekick, like Freddy, like the way he had all the DC posters and stuff on his wall of like Batman and all that stuff, which I thought was cool because the one Batman logo looked like the Michael Keaton logo. And I think that was like an Easter egg for what's going to happen in The Flash, right? Because Michael Keaton's still part of that, isn't he? I believe he is.
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I know, yeah.
Of course, we're talking now. I mean, if you told me Ben Affleck was back, I'd believe it. Because, they were showing Ben Affleck stuff, too. But they did kind of remind me of parallel type characters as far as that goes. Yeah. From the Shazam movie and this movie. But I mean, that's to be expected. Although having the kid kind of be like the same as the Freddy kid kind of, I don't know. It's not a big, it didn't ruin it or anything like that, but it was kind of like obvious. Like it seemed a lot, too much alike in a way, but not in any way that it ruined the movie. And the kid, he was important to the story too, especially the outcome. So
yeah, too, the movie, because you know how some movies, some comic book movies have a lull point, or a dry spell, I would say.
Yeah.
During it. This one did not.
No. No.
It was action throughout the deal.
Mhm.
And I say action, I'm not saying things were blowing up and people were fighting nonstop, but there was always something going on in each scene that didn't make me want to get up and go use the restroom. It made me want to sit to make sure I saw what happened next.
Yeah, because I had to go to the bathroom really bad. And in fact, I waited till because I knew there was going to be an end or mid scene credit. So I ran to the bathroom as soon as it was over and ran back so I could see that. But yeah, it was like you said, there wasn't a time where you were like, kind of like, okay, let's get to the rest of it here.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go back to Hawkman, Aldous Hodge.
Mm-hmm.
So like I told you last week, the Justice Society doesn't really excite me all that much. I'm not a big team guy.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he did great. Like,
oh yeah,
I would now like to see a Hawkman movie.
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing that.
Or Justice Society, either way. Like if it's him and the rest of the team. But I really, really enjoyed that. I enjoyed Atom Smasher, Cyclone. They all were good characters. Mm-hmm. It wasn't too much about them.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed that. Atom Smasher, you could compare him to Ant-Man, obviously, because he gets big. Cyclone, maybe you could compare her to Storm. And then of course Dr. Fate. But in the DC universe in this movie, I really enjoyed all of them, and I wasn't I wasn't too consumed with comparing them to other characters.
Yeah, because I was kind of I was kind of upset that they chose Justice Society to be like the I would say basically the antagonist at first.
Yeah. I liked how they did that though in the movie.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that. It gave it a couple different layers.
Right. But yeah, other than that, man, this was a good film. I would say definitely check it out for sure.
Just real quick, I want to ask you, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Back in the day, when I was a little kid, I loved wrestling. We would stay up and watch it on Saturday nights. We'd have to take a nap on Saturday because we'd have to stay up late to watch wrestling because we'd want to see Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and all those guys.
Right.
And then we had church on Sunday. So it was we hated having to take a nap, but they didn't want us going to church the next day all sleepy because we were watching wrestling.
Right.
And then after a while, as I got a little older, I didn't really watch it as much. And then, to be honest, I didn't watch WWF, is what it was back then, WWE now. I kind of got back into it watching WCW because there was Goldberg and the NWO, which was the Hulk Hogan. He came back as a bad guy, and he was in the NWO. I don't know if you watched all that stuff back then.
Mm-hmm.
But WWF started they were competing back and forth, and it was Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then The Rock became the biggest thing in wrestling. And at that time, I started watching WWF exclusively because it got sold to WWF. WCW got sold to WWF anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But man, edge of my seat every week, I loved The Rock. He said all the coolest stuff. He punked everybody out. He
jabroni.
Yeah. Yeah, he had all his little catchphrases and man, he was just awesome. And then watching his career, like I said, he's been in movies and I've loved him, just because he's The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed him in Ballers. I thought he, again, it wasn't too far outside of his lane, but I felt like he kind of acted a little more in that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he did a pretty good job in this movie. I wouldn't say he's still the best actor or anything like that, but for this character, I thought he did really good. I mean, he was pretty stoic throughout the movie, and as he should be, right? Because he's not
right.
He's not like a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He just doesn't really fit into those molds. He has his own way of doing everything. And so I thought what he brought to the character and what he did was good. Again, he's not going to win an Oscar.
Oh, no.
But he made a really, really good Black Adam. And I thought this movie was an A. I'd give it an A+ movie. Like not saying it's really great, but just saying it's an A+ movie. Did you happen to? Well, first, anything else you want to add to on Black Adam?
No, I just like it.
I don't want to get too far into it to spoil it, but people pretty much knew what was coming with the cameo, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because you were asking me like, do you know what's going to be in the at the end of the scene? I was like, I think it's going to be Superman, because I was hearing that.
Yeah, and it's everywhere, and they were pretty much giving spoilers out for that before, because I'm pretty sure they were like, just in case people aren't excited about Black Adam, let's go ahead and tell them that Superman's going to make an appearance. And so that, I don't think, made anybody want to go see it anymore, because everybody knew it was just going to be a cameo. But it was way better than the cameo in Shazam, even though the cameo in Shazam cracked me up. That was funny, but that was a funny movie. In this one, it was a little different, and so I was like, yes, nice. And then you actually had some audio of Henry Cavill talking about returning. So let's go ahead and listen to that real quick.
Hey everyone, I wanted to wait until the weekend was over before posting this because I wanted to give you all a chance to watch Black Adam. But now that plenty of you have, I wanted to make it official that I am back as Superman. And the image you see on this post and what you saw in Black Adam are just a very small taste of things to come. So there's a lot to be thankful for, and I'll get to that in time. But I wanted to thank you guys most of all. Thank you for your support, and thank you for your patience. I promise it will be rewarded.
So there's Henry Cavill talking about returning as Superman. And if you guys could hear what we were saying while we were playing the audio, you'd know my cameos. I'm a master ventriloquist. So, but yeah, that was exciting as well. Really exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can't wait to see what happens with Superman.
Yeah, and man, I'm excited about Man of Steel 2, actually. Because
Director James Gunn.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right.
Did you happen to come up with a list, Cameo, of your top 5 DCEU movies?
Yes, I have.
I'd like to hear your list.
Okay. So first, I'm going to have to go with the Suicide Squad.
I'm going to go with that as my number 1 too.
Yep. Then I will say Shazam at number 2.
I want to say Shazam, but I feel like I should go with Batman versus Superman because I watched it 20 times.
Okay.
And
Okay.
really, like, that is such a love-hate movie for me.
Mhm.
Like, I loved part of the movie and the rest of it I did not love. So it's hard to say it's number 2, but that's where I'm going for number 2.
Okay. So my number 3 would be I would have to say the Snyder Cut of Justice League.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go with Shazam for number 3.
Okay. Then my number 4 would I would say Man of Steel. I really like that movie.
Okay. We're at number 4.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably have to say the Justice League at number 4.
Okay. And then I don't know. I would have to say Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman would be number 5, the first one.
Ew. No, the first one was good, but
The first one was really good. I like the first one.
I'm putting Black Adam at number 5 for now.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, Black Adam.
How'd
Black
you
Adam. I'm
forget?
sorry.
How did you look? Turn behind you. Look behind you. He's mad. He's really mad. Like, okay, so you're gonna say number 5.
Black Adam is my number 5. Sorry.
Okay. Now I want to go out of the top 5 real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6. I'm gonna go ahead and say, and I know people are gonna be really mad at me for not putting in like Wonder Woman or Man of Steel, but number 6, I'm putting Birds of Prey because I really like that movie. And honestly, I just loved Ewan McGregor in it. Like I loved him so much. So I'm going with number 6.
Okay.
Then I would have to say,
my number 6 would be Wonder Woman.
okay.
Then
I'd have to say Man of Steel because it kicked it off, and I really enjoyed Man of Steel. But I really was looking forward to that one because it was Zack Snyder too.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not a movie that like I've watched a bunch of times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I liked it, but I didn't ever feel the need to like watch it a whole bunch.
Yeah. My number 7 would be Birds of Prey. Then my 8 would be BVS.
I guess my 8 would be the first Wonder Woman.
Okay. My 9th would be Aquaman.
Same.
And then there's really not a number 10 I would want to put on.
I know, because you're stuck choosing between the first Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman 84.
Right.
And those are like there, but I would say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and go with the first Suicide Squad because it did introduce Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Okay.
And Will Smith as Deadshot was pretty dope.
Yeah.
But it just overall wasn't a great movie. And then 84's got to come in last.
Yeah.
Dead last.
Agreed.
All right, there you go. There's our list.
All right.
I didn't make mine before the show. I just made it up right now.
Same here.
Slacker.
No, but honestly and truthfully, that
would be my list,
would put
though.
those.
Yeah. Except for Black Adam. You're like, I totally forgot about Black Adam.
I totally forgot what we were talking about.
I didn't realize that was a movie. I do kind of want the Black Adam the action figure.
Oh yeah, McFarlane.
Yeah. What are those called? I'm blanking on the name. Like I have a ton of them though from the DC, but I do want the Black Adam one now because they're always they're pretty accurate to the movies. They also do some comic book ones too, but
yeah.
So yeah, Black Adam, great movie. Really, really good movie. Maybe not great, but really, really good. Really good. So there you go.
Agreed.
I believe that brings us to an end, Cameo. I don't know. I didn't really have any Nerdflix and Chill this week.
No,
I've been watching.
I do know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying I've been watching a bunch of horror movies because it's Halloween season.
Gotcha. Well, there's a new series on Amazon Prime called The Peripheral with Chloe Grace Moretz. So yeah, new episodes every Friday. So check that out. Right
on. I will give one suggestion to people. It's not a TV show, although you can watch it on YouTube. It's called Tales from the Dork Side, and it stars me and Gog.
Oh.
Yeah. Shut up. Each episode we watch from the beginning like this one, the first episode that came out is episode 1 of Tales from the Dark Side. That's the show that used to come on in the 80s. And we're going to go through each episode. We'll do like a watch along. We'll do that. And then we'll talk about horror movies, TV shows, stuff that Cameo won't watch. So yeah, like, because technically, I guess if I was going to give out any Nerdflix and Chill, it would be the Interview with the Vampire on AMC Plus. I've been watching that and loving it. But yeah, check us out. Tales from the Dork Side. You can get that on all the places you get Nerdz II Men and on YouTube and all that. So that's my plug. But for Nerdz II Men, I would say, hey, subscribe, like, leave us a review. Like if you're on like Apple or wherever, because that, if you leave good reviews and whatnot, it helps other people to see our podcast and be like, oh, that's something I should watch.
Right. Or, I mean, even if you have a bad review, let us know.
Don't leave us a bad review. Like
we might not change it, but, you know.
Just email me your bad review at nerdz2men@gmail.com, but don't leave one on. Don't be rude about it.
I mean, if you want to call us amateurish, it'll be fine.
I want to keep our perfect 5-star review on Apple. So,
all right, cool.
But hey, if you leave us some reviews, we'll read them on the air. How about that?
Yeah,
that'll be awesome.
We will.
All right, Cameo. I have some videotapes to return.
All right, keep it nerdy.
Smile and put on a happy face.
Wakanda forever!
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
That was awesome!
Freeze all motor functions.